Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be ranking every LEGO Ninjago minifigure included in the Summer 2022 wave for Crystalized, and we have 29 minifigures that I'm going to be going through in this video. So yeah, that's a pretty hefty amount that we're going to go through, and of course, I'll be ranking them from my least favorite to my favorite, and I don't necessarily dislike any of the figures in this wave, so don't take it the wrong way when I put one near the bottom of the list or directly at the bottom. But for now, let's get straight into it here because we have quite a bit to cover. So without further ado, let's start off with number 29. To kick off the list here, we have the Crystal King, and you're probably surprised by me putting this figure down at the bottom of the list, and it's because there is another version of the Crystal King in this wave of sets, and that one is much higher on the list, so stay tuned for that. But for now, this one here is basically just the same figure without the four arms included with it, and I'm not going to show the face print at this time in the video, but I will show it when we get to the spot where the other one is included in, but that will be a spoiler. But don't worry, I'll give you a warning ahead of time if you don't want to know the identity of this character. But this figure still looks really good and is definitely still a great inclusion. Then the next one that we have here is a Vengestone Warrior, and this character looks really great. I do like these kind of like cannon fodder enemies for this wave. I think they all have really fantastic designs with the Crystalized sort of consuming the Vengestone parts of the characters, which I do like quite a bit. This one just ranks a little bit lower. Usually these minions, no matter how cool they look, rank lower for me because I don't have a personal connection to the characters, because I do take that into account along with the designs here. But I do love the molded head here. I think it looks phenomenal, and the detail of course on the torso and the legs both look phenomenal. Now we've got Golden Jay up next here, and you'll kind of notice a bit of a trend with these Golden Ninja, and you'll see that throughout the list here. But first one we have here is Jay, and I think it's just a little bit lower ranked for me because it doesn't really feel like anything too spectacular. Not to say that these golden figures aren't great. When I do make these critiques, it's really me just nitpicking on these figures because I do really love all of them from this wave, and this is still a great one here. It's actually one that I do have in my collection because I was sent the Samurai X-Mech set from Masters of Brickjitzu to do a review over on their channel, so just a small little plug right there for the channel. Thanks so much to them for that, and it's a great figure. I am super happy to have it, and it still has a really great design. Next up here we have Golden Zane, and this one is kind of a similar case with the J figure where I just feel like it's nothing too phenomenal in my opinion. Surprisingly enough, the golden versions of the ninja in this wave are kind of the ones that are a bit lower ranked for me, and just because I feel like even though it's cool to have the gold kind of with their outfits for this season, I still think they're a little bit more lackluster than some of the other minifigures here, but that's not saying too much because these are still fantastic. So I still do like the design of this, and I like the armor over top of the ninja suit. Now we have the Skull Sorcerer, and once again you may be surprised by how low this one is ranked, but I still do like the figure. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Skull Sorcerer in general, but with a lot of these general characters here for the villains in this wave, they all share the same torso and legs except for a few exceptions throughout them, which we'll go over of course, but that kind of just makes it a little bit lower for me. Not saying that the prints aren't great on all of those, but it just kind of takes away from some of the uniqueness of the character. But I still do really like this one, and he does have a new face print as well where they basically have changed the color from the green to now the purplish pink here, so I do like that quite a bit so that I can show that he's been taken over and crystallized here, so I do like that quite a bit, and it's overall still a really nice figure. Alright, now we've got Harumi here, one of the ones that I think was one of the biggest surprises here for this wave and just for the season as a whole. Now, we don't know where she's going to show up or how she's going to be put into this, or even if she will be at all, but all I can say is for the minifigure here, I think she looks great. Now, once again, same sort of complaint with the Skull Sorcerer using the same torso and legs right here, but I do like her face print quite a bit. I love those crystallized eyes there. She definitely looks super menacing here in this design, and it's still a great looking Harumi figure. Now we have Mr. F right here, and that's right, you heard me correctly, it is not Mr. E, this is Mr. F, and this character is pretty cool looking here. Once again, I'm going to repeat myself quite a bit with these general villain minifigures here, but they are using the same torso and legs here, but I do really like the face print here for Mr. F, and I do like his new, like, head mold basically, or not really head mold, but his helmet that he's wearing. I think that looks really excellent, and I like the red visor on the front, keeping with that classic Mr. E color scheme there, at least having a little bit of a splash of that in the color scheme. So I do like that because it adds a nice contrast to the other pink and purple colors going on here. So it's still a great looking figure. Okay, now we have Golden Kai right here, and this is another excellent looking ninja suit here. Definitely one of the golden ones that I like a bit more, just because Kai's color scheme works so well with the golden color scheme, so they just meld together super well. I think the armor printing on the torso looks fantastic on this figure as well. It looks very much like it belongs on top of this suit, and I do like that quite a bit as well, but there isn't too much more to say about this one other than it's just a cool variation of Kai. Now we have Golden Cole right here, and this is my highest ranked of the ninja for the golden outfits, and I just think it works so well here. It definitely gives me a lot of Master of the Mountain vibes for this figure, and I like that quite a bit because that's one of my favorite seasons of Ninjago, and I think it just came out looking so great here on Cole. I love how the armor looks, and once again, similar to Kai, I think his color scheme just really lends itself super well to the golden colors, and I do like that quite a bit. It's a great looking figure with a ton of detail. Now we have Little Nelson right here, and this one is super exciting and very unexpected to be getting in this wave, and is one of the figures that I do actually have, because of course he came in the Samurai X-Mech set, and this is an excellent figure here. I really do love the color scheme that they went with for him right here. I think that the purple and the aqua blue look really great together. I love the reuse of the hidden side hat and hood combo piece there for his head there. I think that looks excellent there as well, with the nice print on the front there, and then the torso on the front and the back both look excellent. I do like that quite a bit as well, and his face print is awesome too. I love how he has a big grin on one side, and then on the other side he is battle ready, and I do like that quite a bit as well. So it's overall just a great figure. So exciting to have another version of Little Nelson here in minifigure form, and it's definitely a welcome addition to the wave. Now we move on to the mechanic right here, and this is definitely another of those figures which suffers from the same problem as all the other general villain minifigures, but I do like the face print here quite a bit, and I feel like I phrased that incorrectly of it being a problem. This is still once again a great printing right here, and I love just getting another version of the mechanic, and even just story wise I'm super excited to see more of this character, so it's definitely a plus in those regards. And I do like the face print here quite a bit. I love the crystallized effect going on there on both his normal eye and his mechanical eye as well, and then of course sporting his signature bowler's hat as well, which is really nice. So definitely a fantastic one here and another welcome addition. Now we have a Vengestone Brute here, and kind of similar comments as to what I said for the Vengestone Warrior, because they are very similar minifigures here, but I do like this one a bit more because it's more fully crystallized, as you can see with both of the arms being in the semi-transparent pink coloring there, and then also just on the torso, kind of seeing more of the crystallized effect over top of the Vengestone, which I think just looks so great and is such an awesome contrast of colors against each other there, with the really bright pink against the gray and sort of yellow markings there, which I do like quite a bit. So I think that looks really excellent, and once again that head mold just looks fantastic. I also really love the crystallized armor pieces as well that are included on a lot of the villains figures, and I think it looks excellent here. So just overall a really great enemy. Now we have Cole next up here, and he is in his Crystalized season suit here, and I love these suits a ton. Of course, you're going to see a lot more of them in this ranking as we go on, but this Cole suit looks fantastic. I really do love the combination of colors here on his wraps throughout his torso and legs there. I think those all look excellent together, so I like the kind of contrast there with the lighter gray over top of the black coloring there, and I do really like his ninja hood as well. You have the orange as the sort of like headband over top it, and then also the black as the primary color there. So I think it just allows for all of the other colors to really stand out amongst the primary color there. So I definitely do like it a ton, and it's a great looking ninja suit. Alright, now we have General Asphira right here, definitely one of my favorite of the villain minifigures here, and I love it so much because you can see Asphira's head has been fully colored in a new color scheme here. I think that looks excellent, and I love how on the sides it has the semi-translucent bits there to show the crystallized effect and kind of taking over the figure there, so I do like that quite a bit. I love how the eyes and the mouth look as well. Those are phenomenal, and then also just cool to see that we get the kind of like ghost piece there down below for her legs. I think that's really great and kind of adds a bit more uniqueness here instead of just using like some plain legs, sort of like with the other general villain minifigures, but they are using the same torso here. But I think it works really well with the color scheme, especially blending in quite well with the ghost piece down below. So I definitely do like this one a ton, and it's one of my favorites for the villains. Now flipping over to the good side here, we have Master Wu, and he looks excellent here. As I said in my review for the Samurai X-Mech, he is one of my favorite versions of the character here. I think he just looks so great in his battle ready outfit here, and I think it's awesome as well because you could also sort of just take off that dragon armor there, and then you could just put on a beard for him, and then he would just look like a classic looking Wu because his robes are very nice, very clean and sleek design on them, which I really do love a ton, and they match really well with the Garmadon in the crystallized wave as well, which I'll mention once again when we go over that figure. But I really do love it here a ton, and I just think it's an excellent version of the character, definitely one of my favorites. Alright, now we've got our first of the Golden Dragon Ninja here, and this one is Zane, and I think he looks so epic right here. I think it's so cool with the Zane figure, how it kind of looks like the ice is overtaking the golden parts of the figure. I think that's awesome, like it's sort of freezing over here in a sort of like NRG way. These are definitely the most powered up and cool looking versions of the Ninja, and I do love those a ton. I think it's so cool. All of the, of course, semi-translucent bits of the figure, I think that looks great. The dragon wings look phenomenal, and the molds as well for the dragon helmets are absolutely fantastic. I think that is such a cool piece, and I love how it blends together the element part at the back there to kind of represent the ice. I think that's so cool. The face print as well is awesome because we're kind of getting like a Spinjitzu training version for Zane right here, because we didn't get him in those previous ones, and they're reusing the faces for Kai, Lloyd, and Jay for these dragon figures, so it's cool to get new ones for both Zane and Cole. So I really love this. It looks excellent and is just overall a phenomenal figure. Alright, now we've got Skylar here, of course, a fan favorite from Ninjago, and I am a huge fan of this figure. It's just so cool to get her character returning here for Crystalized, and I think she looks excellent here. Of course, the one thing that could be a bit better about her figure is adding some leg printing here, but it doesn't ruin it for me because I still think it's just so great to see the return of her here, and I also love her face printing here, how she has two alternate faces here, and on the front you can see just her regular expression, but then you also have an alternate like battle face as well, where she has some like war paint on, which looks really excellent. So I do like that quite a bit. Her torso is super well detailed, so it's just overall a great looking figure here, and definitely an awesome version of Skylar. Alright, now we have General Pythor here, the one to stand atop all of the other generals. I think this figure looks excellent. I am so happy that I have this one in my collection because, of course, he comes in the Samurai X mech, and he is excellent. Such a cool looking figure. I love Pythor a ton. I've actually never built a physical version of Pythor. I do own one from Jay Stormfighter set from Legacy, but I don't have any other versions of the character, so it was so exciting to have this one here. I love his molding, of course, for his head. I think the printing as well on top of that looks great, and on his snake-like legs as well, that looks excellent as well. I love how it blends in the patterns on his body with the armor there. I think it's an excellent molding together there, and then of course just using the general villain torso there, but I think it works quite well with the figure, and I do just love this a ton. It's an excellent version of the character and just a spectacular version of this figure. Okay, now we have Zane here in his Crystalized outfit, and this looks spectacular. I really do love these ninja robes that are coming in this season. I think he looks so great here, and once again, I just love the clean and sleek aesthetic going on here. I think the colors with Zane as well work really well, with the white being the primary one here, with the little pops of the blue around the suit here, which I do love, especially in the headband on the ninja hood there. I think that's really excellent, and then just the actual robe printing looks really phenomenal. So I love it all. It all blends together super well to make an awesome version of Zane. Now we've got Kai right here in his Crystalized Ninjitzu, and this looks fantastic here. I really do love the amazing design on this figure. I think the torso looks excellent, and I really do love the kind of like darker red on top of the lighter red. I think that works really well and definitely kind of gives a nice contrast of the colors here, and then his printing is just phenomenal. This one, these suits really in general give me a lot of vibes from the island suits. They kind of remind me of that, and I love the uniform look for all of them. They all go together so well, and it's awesome that you can get all of them except for Lloyd, of course, but all the rest included in one set together in the Crystal King Temple. I think that's so cool that you can collect them all basically at once, and that's just awesome. This is a excellent looking figure and a great design. We've now got Lloyd right here, and we're on a bit of a roll with these figures, with me including. A lot of them here in a row, but they are just so great looking. I love the Lloyd figure here a ton. I think the printing has got to be some of my favorite out of these ninja here in their Crystalized suits. I think it looks so great, and then the legs as well look awesome. I really do love it. Once again, kind of like with the Kai, how they have the darker green on top of the lighter green here, so I think those colors meld together really well and complement each other fantastically. So that's so great, and it just all comes together to make an epic version of Lloyd. Okay, now we've got Golden Dragon Jay right here, and I do actually have the Jay's Golden Dragon bike set. I haven't opened it yet, but I will be doing some content for that over on the MOB Masters of Brickjitzu channel, and this is just a spectacular looking figure. I can't wait to actually play around with it because the Golden Dragons are just such a cool concept, and I love that within this wave they can have these really crazy versions of the ninja, and then we also have the more simple versions of them, the more classic kind of versions with these standard sort of crystallized suits. So they have a lot of great variations here for all of the ninja, and I think they all kind of pack in elements that any fan would just absolutely love. So I think that's so great. Of course, reusing the Spinjitzu training head here in this figure, and then the overall printing and the transparent parts just work together so well, and it looks like he has just been covered in lightning basically over top of this gold. So really cool, a great effect, and a really excellent minifigure. Alright, now we have Samurai X Nia up next here, and she looks fantastic. It is so cool to see, of course, the return of Nia here in a very classic sort of version, of course, back in her human form, at least within the minifigure. We don't know what's going to happen within the actual season, but it's very exciting to see her back, and I think the printing looks so excellent. I mentioned this in my review for the Samurai X mech set, but I love the legs, how they're able to take all these colors from previous Nia suits and sort of put them all together. I think that's really great with the dark red, the gray, the blue, the gold. I think it all works together super well, so I love that. The Samurai X symbol in the middle as well looks fantastic, and it's just a great design, a fantastic figure, and it's got to be one of my favorite versions of Nia. Alright, now we have Golden Dragon Kai next up here, and kind of a similar comment to the standard golden versions of the ninja, but I think Kai's color scheme works so well with the gold, and that's what kind of puts this one above some of the others. I think it looks so great here, and once again, the molding just looks fantastic on all of these. The armor piece as well, I love how the wings are able to hook into that. I think it's really great looking there, and it just all looks fantastic. The printing is phenomenal, and it just makes for an excellent looking minifigure. Okay, now we have Oni Lloyd right here, and he looks absolutely crazy. This is a superb minifigure right here. It's got to be one of the most like ultimate versions of Lloyd that we have ever seen. I think his Oni mask here just looks phenomenal with such detailed printing that I think works really well. They've definitely nailed the Oni mask designs here for this wave. I think it looks so great, so menacing as well, which I absolutely love. And then the printing, of course, is super detailed, really magnificent there as well. So a ton of great things to say about this figure. I think the colors work really well. Of course, Lloyd is one of the primary ninja always sporting that golden color, and I think the green as sort of the highlights here on the suit were working really well for the design. So I just love it overall. It's a fantastic figure, and as you can see, one of my favorites. Alright, now we have Jay right here in his standard crystallized suit, and I love this figure, of course, hence why he's my favorite of these crystallized suits here. The general suits from this wave is what I'm basically trying to call them, but I think this one looks so fantastic. I love, and I mean love, that they are using the dark blue as the primary color here on the actual hood. I think that looks awesome with the sort of highlight of the lighter blue for the headband around the ninja wrap there. I think that looks so great, and I think there's been some people who don't really like that as much, but I absolutely love it, and I think his suit looks so great. It's just phenomenal. This is honestly one of my favorite versions of Jay, even outside of this wave, of all time. He just looks excellent, and it's definitely just an amazing version of the character. Alright, now we have the Crystal King right here, and of course I teased this right at the beginning of the list when saying that there was another version of this character that was going to be higher up on here, and he is of course in one of the highest spots here, and he looks superb. Just an excellent design here, so menacing. He's definitely one of my favorite main villain designs here. I love the printing on both of the torsos here. Of course, I love how he's using the forearms here. I think that's so great, reminiscent of Garmadon, of course, when when he's at his evilest points, and I think it looks so great here. I love the crystallized highlights as well throughout the printing going on here, and then of course the actual like mask mold looks excellent. I love these super large horns as well above that. I think those look great. It's such a tall minifigure. It's absolutely crazy and just makes him super menacing. And now I'm gonna talk about the face print underneath, revealing the identity of this character. So I'll give you 3, 2, 1, and the character is the Overlord, and that's absolutely crazy. So insane to see the return of this character, and I'm curious how that will play out in the actual story of the season. But the face print here looks phenomenal. I think he looks so menacing. Definitely one of the scariest and creepiest face prints I've ever seen in Ninjago, and he has a little bit of printing at the back of his head as well, which is cool to see. But so great, such an awesome design here, and just an epic minifigure. Okay, now we have Golden Dragon Cole here, my highest ranked of these Golden Dragon Ninja minifigures, and he looks phenomenal. And it kind of just comes down to that Cole's color scheme works so well with the golden color going on here, and Cole is probably one of my favorite ninja. He's definitely right up there, I would say, like tied with Lloyd. Probably they're two of my favorites for sure. I'd have to think about it a lot more, but that's not what we're ranking here. This figure looks great. I think the face print is so cool. Of course, as I've said earlier in this video here, that I love that they're doing some like Spinjitzu training style heads here for the other ninja like Cole and Zane, and I think it looks great here. The transparent arms as well look excellent. The legs, all of the parts here look really great. I just love how it all comes together here. It's gotta be one of my favorite versions of Cole that I've ever seen. It's like the ultimate version here, and I absolutely love it. It's a stunning figure. Alright, now we've made it to the top of the list here, and the figure that I have here is Oni Garmadon, an absolutely amazing design here. And this is one that did come in the Samurai X mech, so I have had hands-on experience with this figure, and it looks great. There's one drawback about this one, and it is that he is using his legacy face print underneath the Oni mask here, so that's a bit disappointing, but it doesn't take away too much from this figure, because I think the majority of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time, you're going to have him with this Oni mask on, and I love that they redesigned the mask. Thank you so much, Lego. I'm so glad they didn't just try to translate the mask from the show, and I'm curious if this is going to reflect within the show. Of course, we don't know how Garmadon is going to appear to look, so it's going to be crazy. Though I love it so much here. He looks so evil and so menacing, and even though I'm sure he's working with the ninja, I think it's just so cool looking, and I love his printing as well on his torso and legs. I mentioned this with the Master Wu minifigure, that I feel like these paired together really well, which of course makes a lot of sense considering they're brothers, and I do like that quite a bit. He doesn't have the forearms going on here, but I think it looks so cool, and I do like it a ton. It's so fantastic. There's so many different words I could use to describe how much I love this figure, but that's everything I have to say for it. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. Okay, now that's going to conclude my ranking here for every LEGO Ninjago minifigure releasing in the summer 2022 wave for Crystalized, and there were a ton to go over here. I tried to make it as short as possible, but I of course wanted to still share my thoughts and opinions about each and every one of these, and also try my best to use different descriptive words throughout this video. But I'm pretty sure I said excellent, phenomenal, amazing, great, good, all these words way too many times throughout this video, but how many other ways are there to describe how you like a minifigure? All I know is this is a great wave, probably one of the strongest waves that we've ever seen for Ninjago minifigure wise, and they're all just fantastic. But now let me know your rankings down below in the comment section. I know that's a big task to ask of you considering there's 29 minifigures, but let me know down below, and just let me know like if you want to tell me like your top 5, your top 10, again, whatever you feel comfortable with or want to spend time on writing down below. But thank you so much for checking out this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, also subscribe as well. If you would like to check out some of my other content, that would be highly appreciated. I'll probably also link at the end of the video my review for the Samurai X-Mech overall Masters of Brickjitzu. So if you have some time, be sure to check that out if you want to support the channel there. It's a great community with some other fantastic reviews as well for all of the Crystalized sets. So be sure to check that out if you want a closer look at these minifigures. But for now, that's everything I have to say here for the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.